Have you ever asked yourself if bullion dealers and coin shops believe their own BS? Now, that's not to say that coin dealers are full of it, but I'm just wondering if, given the environment that we've seen where prices have gone through the roof, particularly for silver bullion, with premiums, joining the spot price jumping up. One of the big things that I've noticed is that the buyback prices for bullion, and this has been mentioned a few times in the comments as well, that the buyback prices for bullion are far below whatever spot plus premiums is. So they're selling it at one price and buying it back at a different price. Now, from a business perspective, it makes perfect sense, right? You want to have a big spread, you want to, not take too much risk. But again, with many of, let's say, for example, on YouTube, with many of the people that the bullion shills, the silver shills, the shills for, silver price and, SD bullion, and this, I throw out SD bullion because it's a repeat offender. But, the people that are out there that, silver's going to do this, silver's going to do that, and hey, I'm sponsored by SD bullion, go buy your Eagles at $50 an ounce. Those same people, and even the coin dealers that they hawk on there, constantly, I'm sure they're doing the same thing, right? They're buying it at one price and they're selling it at a price way above that. Now, we know, typically with silver, if you haven't bought silver or been stocking silver for quite a while, what I guess you should know is that, obviously prices on the way up, they move up quickly. So if spot price is going up, you'll see bullion just, going through the roof. But on the way back down, if spot starts to drop, there's definitely a large lag time for silver prices. Now, that, again, from a business perspective, makes perfect sense. If I had to buy it at one price, I'm probably not too keen on selling it back, for anything below what I bought it for. I have to keep the doors open, right? But here's kind of the catch. Again, bullion dealers operate at a different model than what a coin dealer would. A coin dealer, most of them are operating on volume, right? So get it in, get it right back out the door as quickly as possible, make a small profit, but don't hold on to large inventories of stuff that's especially generic stuff, that kind of thing. You want to get it right back out the door. A bullion dealer is a little bit different, right? Because, they have, power as far as the pricing itself. They can push down prices potentially with, the miners and the refiners, that kind of thing. But coin dealers is not going to have that kind of power, right? It's kind of a mom and pop business. In it, what goes in comes right back out. But even with bullion, coin shops, I've heard that a lot of them are kind of, doing kind of the same thing where they're buying it, way below whatever spot is, because they know at the end of the day, there's a good chance that it goes right back down. Well, if that's the case, again, why, if you think it's going to go down, why are you telling me that it's going to go, it's going to go to the moon, that, I better get my hands on it before it's gone? This is the problem I have, generally with the supply side of the stacking pursuit. Is just, you get so much hype and so much BS from, the people who sell you this stuff and the people who shill for it, that it's just like, okay, well, if you believe that, why wouldn't you take it hand over fist from me if you could get your hands on it? Well, I don't want to get caught with it. Well, what do you mean? You're telling me, day in and day out, it's going to go to, it's going to be $50 an ounce. It's going to be $100 an ounce. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. Based on the national debt, it should be worth this much. Well, why wouldn't you just, pay whatever the market price is for it? At the very least, spot, right? I can understand not paying me any premium for it, just taking it, for what it is. But not even paying me, spot, paying me well below spot? I kind of think that's a problem. And I think it says a lot about, stocking in general, that these kind of things happen with regularity. Now, some of you out there are thinking, well, no, my coin shop treats me good. It's not everybody, right? And I would think too, especially with the coin shop, if you have a good relationship, they're not going to go out of their way to screw you. But I also, realize that if you've been looking at spot price recently, spot's been moving close to 10%, to the downside, then it'll trickle its way back up. So, I would not be surprised to see, spot head right back down to 25 at some point. Not overnight, but just, you know, a few bad days in a row, and then all of a sudden, instead of jumping back up, you know, it keeps going down. Would I be happy about that? Yeah, because it makes it a little bit more attractive. Although, again, I mean, after everything that's happened, anything below 23, 24 spot plus premiums, it's not really that attractive anymore. It really just doesn't scream out to me that there's good value there. Now, again, you're going to hear plenty of the hype. Oh, you know, no. Don't fall for the hype. Every so often, you know, there's price jumps, there's price drops. It's just kind of the name of the game. And anybody who says that they have the inside beat on which way it's going is full of crap. I mean, that's one of the main lessons of, you know, silver stacking channels on YouTube. Again, it's just like, you know, the markets. You know, people think that the market's a rational thing. It's not. It's not something that you can peg. You know, the days of Warren Buffett and valuating and putting valuations on companies based on, you know, their assets, their sales, their profit margins, those days are gone. I mean, when you look at the valuations now, no stock valuations are in line with that kind of thing. The driver of everything is cheap money, and it has been for a while now, post 2008. I mean, the longer that we get away from it, it seems like it's been a long time, but I mean, realistically, it's not that long. But the thing is, you know, it's the same thing with gold and silver. I mean, you could say it's going to go up all day long, and then when it finally does, claim credit because you've been saying it for 10 years. It doesn't do anything for me. Again, my life and your life don't operate on someone else's timeline. So if they keep saying it's going to go up and I die year 8 and it goes up year 10, that did nothing for me. These are the kind of people that are out there in the stocking community constantly hyping it when it's just not there. Now, again, are there plenty of other values to stocking? Absolutely. But if you're doing it for the quick hit, it's not there. It's not there. And again, the thing is, just like stocks, what happens? People sit there and they say, oh, you know, it went up. Look at the pandemic. Big price jump, right? So people are way in the green. They're like, you know, I'm way up in my stack. I'm going to hold it. It's going to keep going up. And then something's going to come along and it's going to knock it right down below, you know, pre-pandemic levels. And then they're going to say, oh, well, it's going to go back up, so I'm just going to keep holding it. What was the purpose of that? What was the purpose of doing that? You know, these are the kind of things that people don't think about, people don't talk about enough. Again, the only thing you don't get back in life is the time. So if you're going to write it all the way back down instead of selling it and doing something else with it, even if it's transitioning it to gold or something else, so at least you could say I did something to take advantage of that price action, it's crazy. But this is the trap that so many stackers get caught up in.